Hi and welcome back. Today, I only have one sleeve on because we're doing the sword. So I'm super excited to start this series with you. We're gonna be working on the sword, also known as the Jian. The sword, or the straight sword, has a double-edged blade that comes to a tip. The pointy end goes in the bad guy. Now, when you're doing these swords, it's very important that you actually get a very dull one at first, because this is one of the hardest weapons to master, as they're both sides are bladed, so you have more opportunities to just go ahead and cut yourself. Very important, make sure you're buying a practice sword. So when I do straight swords, sometimes I do have to roll up my jacket sleeve, as sometimes the hilt will get stuck inside your jacket. So just something to keep in mind, as you're doing these cuts, you don't want to get stuck in and not be able to move your hand, right? You want to be able to attack and pull back, strike and move. So if you need that extra room, make sure that you clear your sleeve back past your elbow here. You can even maybe get away with quarter sleeve here as you get around. But right on your wrist, it can lock up there. So we're gonna first start off with a couple drills that you need to learn in order to become a master with the Jian. When we practice these drills, make sure that you go slow at first, and then you can start speeding them up. So at the very end of this video, we're gonna put all of these moves together. That way you can put them into a single sequence and practice it over and over and over. You can repeat the sequence as many times as you like. Make sure when you're practicing this, you're concentrating on the points of the blade. Lunge. The lunge is a straightforward stabbing technique used to pierce the body of the enemy. Our first starting position, we are going to stand with our feet together, sword pressed against the torso, lining up with the bottom few ribs. When performing the lunge, we step forward with the left foot into bow stance while blocking up with the left hand. As we block, we push the blade straight forward into the enemy's chest. For this practice, the sword should stay parallel to the floor and end aligning with the shoulder. Make sure to relax the wrist to keep the sword straight. The second variation is done from a standing block. When in this position, we first slap with the left hand, then step forward and lunge. Deflect and chop. When performing the deflect and chop, first start in a cat stance and practice without the footwork. From cat stance, we are going to arch our back away from the enemy while turning the blade flat, bringing the blade close to your face, and then performing a sideways chop, bringing both hands together. The deflect into the chop should be one continuous movement. While practicing, make sure not to chop off your own nose. When doing this technique with footwork, we are going to start from our lunge position, then step forward with our right foot and kick our butt with the left foot to step down into cat stance. From cat stance, we are going to lean back and step with the left foot, bringing the right foot together, ending in the chop. All right, if you want more tutorials like this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Stirring the pot. Stirring the pot is a fun term used for deflecting the blade in a circular motion where the tip stays somewhat pointed in the direction of the enemy. This technique is done by rolling the wrist in a circular motion, causing the blade to also circle. A single point close to the center of the sword should be staying relatively still as the fulcrum point. This technique requires a really relaxed wrist and lots of practice to not over-stiffen and cause the technique to fail. When we do the Wudang sword applications, this movement gets much smaller, but for the forms and technique practice, it is necessary to practice large to gain the wrist control. This movement can also be done with retreating steps. I have shortened the steps here to fit in the frame, but make sure you take quick, large steps back to get away from the attacking motion. Press and cut. The press and cut move is done intentionally slow when practicing. From the lunge position, we are going to bring our left hand sword fingers and press on the left wrist. Slowly, we turn the sword hand wrist down and press with the focus at the tip of the blade. While we draw and drag the tip, we try and keep the points of the blade at the same height. When at the end of the draw, we turn the sword hand and wrist upwards, rotating the tip of the blade, keeping the tip at the same place. Now we again draw the opposite way, keeping the tip height, creating a cutting motion. This move looks a lot like spreading the butter on toast. Combo set. Now we will be putting together the techniques that we did before into a sequence that flows together. We start our opening sequence by reaching out our right arm across the solar plex, then bringing the arm out and around in a circular movement. The left hand holding the sword will follow and meet at the solar plex, switching hands. We pull the sword and point, called Emperor points the way, or our lunging starting position. We then lunge. Deflect and cut 2 times. Retreat while stirring the pot. Pull back and block. Slap and lunge. Cut and press. Pull back and repeat. Lunge. Now remember, when you do the retreating steps, make sure you take big, quick steps back as I'm shortening the steps here to fit in the frame. To end the combo set, you are going to bring the left hand to the chest while the sword circles up, bringing the tip of the blade outside of the left arm. Once cleared of the left arm, you'll switch hands and press down from the ear. You can practice this sequence in a round, meaning you can repeat it as many times as you like, which I suggest a minimum of 10 times a practice. That was your very first lesson in Wudang Sword, so I hope you liked it. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. I'm going to be doing more tutorials, and this is our brand new series of the Wudang Sword. So hopefully at the very end, I can give you a little form to work on too. All right, like always, make sure you get lower, train hard, and I'll see you on the next one.
They're like, die! This is the first one?
No. The sword. Why did I say sword that way? The sword.